Jotaro vs GR isn't even close. It's a video I've been planning for a while and have hinted at in every single video I've ever made. If you've been watching my content, you'll know that GR being outrated is a topic I pushed for so long and never really considered him strong to begin with. Jotaro is the strongest JoJo and has been hinted throughout the story. Whenever there's a powerful antagonist that the crew cannot handle, they always blow a horn or perform a summoning jutsu, and Jotaro shows up and takes care of the enemy. We see this a lot in part 3 or part 4, where Kira was simply too strong for Koichi or Josuke, so Jotaro showed up, curb stomped him, and left. But what makes GR overrated, and why is Jotaro so much stronger than him? To use Gold Experience Requiem as a metric for scaling, we first need to establish its power level. This analysis could also be used to debunk GR's strength, as I explain in depth how strong and how fast he really is. Before we dive into Return to Zero's ability and its stats, there are some other abilities that I want to discuss to give you an understanding of GR's arsenal. Giorno possesses a lot of incredible abilities. In fact, some of them are arguably the best abilities Araki has ever come up with. With his inherited ability from Golden Experience, any attack thrown at these organisms that Giorno either creates or possesses is reflected back. So if the attack had enough force to break a leg, it would be reflected back, breaking the attacker's leg. If the attack was severe enough to kill the frog, it would also be reflected back. If Giorno is able to predict Jotaro's attacks and plant an animal there, he would end up winning the fight. He also possesses regeneration to the extent where he's able to fully heal his own limbs, regrowing them along with healing his crew's wounds. Giorno is able to overflow something with life energy, essentially aging them until they die, by simply overwhelming them with life energy as he did to a tree until it withered away. GR's ability description states that the strength or harm caused by the attack is reverted to zero. However, this ability or concept of returning to zero only works if the opponent has been struck by GR's ability. The description itself indicates a cause and effect relationship, the cause being the activation of the ability and the effect being the reversion of any potential harm to GR, whether physical or conceptual. There is a second ability that allows GR to manipulate the fate of its opponent to the point where their deaths occur continuously an infinite number of times. To activate the second ability, GR has to kill its opponent's scene with Diavolo. The reason the Return to Zero is able to stop Diavolo's epithet is because it's the direct opposite of the ability time skip. The stand arrow draws out what the heart desires the most. In Polnareff's case, it turned the abnormally fast stand into a slow guardian type that refuses anyone to acquire the arrow from him. It's also extrapolated by Dio in part 6 that the arrow draws out what you wish for, further justifying what Polnareff said earlier. Giorno's Requiem possessed the ability to drag back the time skip to its original action. The time skip doesn't erase time while Diavolo is inside of epithet, and we can draw the conclusion with empiricism. The background of the manga panels support the fact that time is still present because Mista's bullets are able to travel through space and still fire his gun. Velocity basically just means speed, speed being distance over time. To clarify if I wasn't clear earlier, the Return to Zero ability, regardless of whether or not it's conceptual or in the form of a visible physical attack, is limited by GR's speed. Now, how fast is GR? Golden Experience Requiem should logically scale to the characters it has fought or is considered stronger than. The only relevant characters in terms of speed I could think of are Diavolo, since Bucciarati and the other gang members struggle with characters who are shot regularly by revolver bullets. Diavolo is strong and arguably the fastest character in part 5. Depending on the scale, he could range from relativistic to faster than light. If you're confused about relativistic speed, it refers to the percentage of speed closer to the speed of light. For instance, 10 to 50% qualifies as relativistic speed, while relativistic plus is in the ranges of 50 to 100% of the speed of light. I mention a range because the manga and the anime versions of Diavolo's authentication scale to different speeds. In the anime, Diavolo is capable of someone reacting to Silver Chariot by time skipping right before the swing. In the manga, Diavolo is shown catching Silver Chariot off guard with his ability to time skip and see into the future. In both instances, he uses epithet to foresee the future, but it is more evident in the anime that the swing itself was invaded just before Diavolo struck. Silver Chariot in his base form should realistically be between light speed and faster than light. Golden Experience Requiem is not on par with Diavolo, should not be considered so, as Diavolo himself asserts that he is faster, and it is narratively implied that Diavolo's strikes are more devastating than Giorno's, as seen when he cleaves characters such as Bucciarati and bisects Polnareff with his punches. In contrast, GR's barrages of punches only inflict minor cuts. We do not know the exact speed of GR, as it only manages to land hits through the activation of its abilities while Diavolo is inside of Epitaph, searching for possibilities to win the fight. It would be logical to assume that GR's speed is somewhat relativistic to relativistic plus, since it can somewhat keep up with the antagonist who should scale to Diavolo's speed. If I'm being honest, GR simply has no good speed scale, and the one I offered is something that GR tarts should take as a consolation prize, because Diavolo is simply shocked by the outcome of RTZ and is somewhat restricted. Now that I'm done with GR, let's power scale Jotaro now so you can understand just why I hold him so highly. Jotaro scaling is something I've spoken about in a lot of videos. I actually made a video on why Jotaro is stronger than GR about 7 months ago, which frankly did amazingly well. In the beginning of part 3, Jotaro displays his Star Platinum's ability to subconsciously defend him, similar to how GR did in part 5. This aspect is often overlooked in Jotaro's power scaling, but it shows that Star Platinum is capable of defending him against opponents or objects moving faster than Jotaro can perceive or react to. So basically, if Jotaro's body is at a disadvantage or somewhat restricted, his ability will come to the rescue, as we can see once Abdul restrains Jotaro with Magician's Red, but Star Platinum comes to his aid. Star Finger is a way for Jotaro to utilize Star Platinum's body manipulation, allowing him to extend his fingers several feet. We don't see this ability used often because Jotaro primarily fights like a caveman throughout the show, relying on punches and kicks. Just like the world, Star Platinum also has the ability to stop time. The concept of their abilities is similar, except Star Platinum's time stop functions differently. When Dio gets stronger, the duration of his time stop increases. However, when Jotaro's Star Platinum becomes stronger, its ability becomes more potent. We know this is the case because Jotaro is capable of overpowering both Dio's time stop and Pucci's time acceleration. This is impressive because it essentially means that Jotaro has a higher level of time manipulation. In other words, imagine that every possible ability that affects time and is time related is the standard level of time manipulation, while Jotaro's time stop works on a higher level since he is able to overpower other versions of time manipulation. In part 6, Jotaro is stated to be weaker than part 3 as it directly refers to his younger self being in his prime. In Stone Ocean, Jotaro was shown to be able to keep up with Pucci, as was stated by him to be more than capable of defeating him if it wasn't for the fact of his daughter. This is incredible because someone like Pucci, with the help of his stand, is capable of both destroying and recreating the universe. Although this is done through his ability made in heaven, it proves that Pucci has the necessary durability to withstand the energy capable of destroying and recreating the universe. It is consistently implied that Jotaro is considered the strongest throughout every part he has ever been involved in. In the data books JoJo and JoJo Valor, Jotaro is stated to have the strongest stand. He is also described as the fastest and most precise, which is consistent with the show since every part he has ever been relevant in touches on his strength and his speed. Here are some statements regarding the matter. In part 4, we get a timetable / map of the entire layout, and it clearly states that Jotaro is the strongest and fastest. Diavolo's stand was present in part 4, since Polnareff fought Diavolo just a couple of years after part 3. So with the timeline in mind, we can deduct that Jotaro is significantly stronger than Giorno, considering that someone like Diavolo is able to defeat everyone in the crew and essentially one-shot everyone he fought. It was also shown in the epitaph that Diavolo pierced through Giorno and Gold Experience Requiem with one hit, which ended up killing him. Jotaro is also much stronger than Diavolo. Because of the part 4 statement, with the amalgamation of evidence I presented, it is safe to say that Jotaro is stronger and superior to GR and would be able to defeat him effortlessly. He possesses much greater strength and is simply much faster. Let's also not forget the fact that his time stop is able to overpower GR's ability, as it is stated to be the strongest in history. Also, just to clarify, as explained earlier, time isn't essentially erased, so Jotaro should logically be able to prevent GR's return to 0 ability because it works on a higher scale. Since Diavolo's quote time erase space still has characters like Mista moving, including bullets, he's inside of the realm of Epitaph, which allows him to just see every movement being made. And that's pretty much it. Don't forget to subscribe and join my Discord server, which is linked in the description below. And peace.